I'm glad that it happened that way. All in all, dogs gonna do their thing. This is what you call alignment. So realistically, in this video, I always say that dogs are interesting creatures. But what I will say is that this is what you call alignment, meaning that for the kid to be running out towards a street, it looks really good that the dog is with them. For the timing of the dog spotting the other dog, and with the kid being right there in the way, me personally, I would say that even if that happened without the kid, you still would have had an altercation. And then now you got the kid running towards the ditch or the culvert, and you got the dog running away because the brown dog is attacking it. But in the mix of seeing that the dog, they kind of like rolled over, and then the distraction or disruption of the owners in that moment snapped the dog out of that state of mind. So for one, the rolling snapped the dog out of that state of mind. Then two, the owner looked like she's yelling, snaps the dog out of that state of mind to where the dog is almost like, oh crap, I'm not supposed to do that. And then the kid goes to the mom, and then boom, success story. I'm not knocking that there's not a possibility that that dog was doing the superhero act, but at the same time, alignment. So a lot of times in situations with dogs, the possibility that they're doing that for that reason could be slim. Now, I do believe that dogs have higher purposes, right? But alignment, you got to go back to alignment. Alignment just means that things lined up the way that it was supposed to in that moment. Now, some dogs are naturally curious about other dogs. There's a possibility that that could happen over and over and over, but the heroic act isn't necessarily what's on that dog's mind. Because I would say is that if the dog was by itself and that dog ran into the yard, 9 times out of 10, it would do the exact same thing. If that dog showed that type of aggression, especially, and it probably wasn't even aggression, the dog was just probably excited to see the dogs or even the kid. And then the dogs intervene in that manner because that's just dog behavior. Now, I would say going through this, the disruption of the dog not running back out towards the dog is because now the man or the other owner is in the picture. But all in all, dogs gonna do their thing. And once again, I feel like that alignment is on your side when you do have a good relationship with a dog. That's what I boil that down to. It's a really good video. I'm glad that it happened that way, because you never know. Dogs' excitement for, like, the kid could have sent that dog into a drive state to where it could attack that kid. And then just the fact that the other dogs were around to deter that dog, that's very awesome. And this is what I tell people. A lot of people ask me, hey, if you train a protection dog, will that dog be able to protect me away from other dogs? More than likely, it's just an instinct that if you're walking and that dog, if you was walking by yourself and that dog, a random dog, let's say a person's dog that actually runs up to you, that's curious about you, or let's say even a dog that's kind of aggressive, if that dog decides to run up to you and it's just you, then yes, the focus and energy will be on you. But if you have a dog with you, 9 times out of 10, that dog's energy, no matter how aggressive that dog is, that dog's energy is going to go towards your dog. Because dogs speak a language that they really, really understand. I'm gonna tell you a story. When I was a kid, it was a dog named Zero. And one day Zero was loose and he was just sitting on the front porch, and I had to been maybe 13. Me and my cousin was walking, and we known that when Zero is loose, Zero would try to get you. So it's best not to even go down that block. If you see Zero loose, you just keep walking up the street. You do not turn right on that corner to go down that street. Now, one day we was walking our female named Honey. Honey was really young. She wasn't even old enough to come into heat. But when I walked down the street, we did not see Zero. Zero was like camouflage or something. The next thing you know, Zero like popped out from that porch, because I think immediately he saw us. He didn't see the dog because his brain is kind of trained to where he like, hey people, I'm about to go after them. I saw within a split second that he ran all the way up to us, but his interest changed. The look in his eyes changed, and he was all over Honey. And while we was around, he couldn't even think about us. So that tells me when I go back into my memory and I look at scenarios, I understand the dog more than the average because I can see these shifts and I can see why they happen. It's not just the fact that it happened, I can see the shift. And in this video, I'm just gonna be honest that dogs are dogs. They communicate with each other better than anything. Even if the dog had a good tendency to just come up to the kid and lick the kid, I really don't believe that that would have made any difference. I believe that with this excitement and everything, that was gonna play out the way it was gonna play out, because it's so much going on that dogs don't like other dogs to get the upper hand. So this is the reason why when dogs are at a standoff, it's almost like who's gonna make the move first. And when a dog is already moving pretty fast, the dog just reacts, and then that's just what happens. I'm glad that this was captured. I'm glad that, you know, the kid is safe. I promise you I am. I'm just giving my reaction in my opinion.